KOB4 News at noon.
We start here at noon with former President Donald Trump's first and likely only campaign stop in New Mexico this election season. You're looking at the line to get into his rally earlier this morning. Rally goers started lining up at off-site parking lots as early as 4 o'clock this morning. We asked some supporters why they decided to attend today's rally.
I'm here to support Trump and also the country.
Cool. Here because we love our children, and we are parents, proud parents, and we know what's best for them, and this is the only chance we've got at saving basically Western civilization against the forces that be that are trying so hard to take us down, take Trump down, and just decline our very beautiful country.
That rally is happening right now at a private hangar at our Sunport, and the former president is scheduled to land and speak very shortly. This is video you're seeing now from Chopper 4 taken around 10 o'clock this morning before that rally even started. You can see that very large crowd at CSI Aviation. I'm going to give you a live look at that rally right now, an absolutely packed event. Our Griffin Rushton is there. So Griffin, what's that atmosphere like right now?
Nice and loud. There is a party absolutely underway right now. Now, we are still waiting for the former president to arrive. He was scheduled to speak at noon, but it looks like we're still waiting for him to arrive. We got a great view of the airfield, though, so we are definitely going to see when his plane lands here at the Sunport, and I can assure you the crowd here is going to go wild. There are easily thousands and thousands of New Mexicans packed here on the tarmac right now. We're just showing you what's in front of the media area right now. There is a whole other group of fans and supporters behind us right now, and there's even more walking in as we speak. Of course, they are all eager to be here to see former President Donald Trump speak here just 5 days before the election. Now, we did have some other Republican leaders step in a little bit earlier when the rally got started. Former Vice President of the Navajo Nation, Myron Leiser, then the Republican Party Chairman, Steve Pierce, and then, of course, our two Republican candidates, Yvette Harrell and Nella Domenici, are also here today. They spoke to the crowd and got things livened up about an hour ago. Of course, you can hear the music is still going on behind me, but it seems now we're all just kind of waiting for the big finale, which, of course, will be former President Donald Trump speaking. We're not sure how long he is going to speak. We do know he is heading off to Nevada later today for another rally, but we will be here and we will be waiting for his speech as soon as it happens. All right, let's send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Griffin, thanks for the update there. Quite a crowd. We want to note we will not be carrying former President Trump's entire speech live in our newscast this afternoon, but you can tune in on KOB.com or on our KOB4 YouTube page. And with just 5 days to go until Election Day, this rally is a last-minute push by former President Trump in our state. Polls show he's trailing behind Vice President Kamala Harris in New Mexico. According to 538, polls from KOB4, the Albuquerque Journal, and the Telegraph put Trump an average of 7 points behind Harris. KOB's latest poll is finishing up now, and we'll have those results for you this coming Sunday. Well, there have been discussions this week beyond parking and logistics among other city leaders leading up to former President Trump's visit. During an Albuquerque City Council committee meeting earlier this week, we learned Trump's campaign originally wanted to use the Albuquerque Convention Center for the rally, but the city denied that request, saying crews were replacing a collapsed sewer line. But City Council President Dan Lewis says the campaign didn't get that same answer.
The reason was because of the outstanding bill with the city.
According to the mayor's office, the Trump campaign still owes the city of Albuquerque nearly $445,000 from his 2019 visit. Here's the breakdown of that bill: $71,000 for police services, $7,000 for barricades, and more than $132,000 for employee leave because the city was required to shut down City Hall for part of that day. A spokesperson says that final bill also includes interest from over the past 5 years. And Albuquerque isn't the only city waiting for the Trump campaign to pay outstanding bills. A spokesperson for the city says, according to the convention center, there are outstanding obligations with 16 municipalities throughout the country.
President Donald J. Trump.
Thank you. Wow. That's a lot of people here today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, New Mexico. What a good place. Thank you very much. Look, I'm only here for one reason. They all said, don't come. I said, why? You can't win New Mexico. I said, look, your votes are rigged. We can win New Mexico. We can win New Mexico. You know, I said, why? They don't want to stop the people pouring across the border that are murderers, they're killers, they're drug addicts, they're drug dealers, they're gang members. Why? New Mexico wants to keep it going like it is. So, you know, we almost won it twice. And let me tell you, I believe we won it twice. Okay, you want to know the truth. And if you can watch your vote counter, if we could bring God down from heaven, he could be the vote counter, we would win this, we'd win California, we'd win a lot of states. A lot of states that they say, oh, a Republican can't win that state. They say a Republican can't win. Well, you know what? We're going to win it. We got to win it. You just got to keep the votes honest. Keep the votes honest. But a very big hello. It is really an honor to be in New Mexico. I have so many friends. I've been here before, as you know, but we have so many friends, and I'm thrilled to be in this beautiful state with thousands of very proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. And I'd like to begin by asking a very, very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? You know, we had per gallon $1.84. We used to say 87. I was corrected by the people in Washington. Can you believe it? $1.84 a gallon. And now you're at $3.50, $4. And let me tell you, after the election, if things didn't go the way they're expected to go, you'd be at $6, $7, $9, $10. But I've come here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, I will end inflation. I will stop the massive invasion of criminals into your state. And I will bring back the American dream. We're going to bring back the American dream. It's hard to have an American dream when radical, crazy killers and just horrible, horrible murderers. You know, you had coming through your border. Do you know how many you had? 13,099. That's Border Patrol, who endorsed me, by the way, very strongly. And you know what they said about her? She's the worst person they've ever seen having anything to do with the border. She's terrible. You cannot elect her. That's Border Patrol. That's Border Patrol. Do you know that in 4 years, almost 4 years, she never called Border Patrol once, and yet she was in charge of the border? That's not too good. That's not. She's a stiff. She's a total stiff, and she lies. She had a news conference today. Oh, Trump wants to, let's see, what can we, he's going to cut Social Security. No, I'm not. I'm the one that saved it. He's going to save Social Security. She's going to lose it. And he's against he's against fertilization. He's against fertilization. She just says anything that comes to her mind. She's a liar. She's worse than Crooked Hillary. At least Hillary was intelligent. She was a very intelligent one. This one is a total stiff. You can't have her as your president. You know, she talks about unity. Oh, unity, unity. Oh, yeah, unity. By the way, he's like Hitler. He reminds me of Hitler. He's a fascist. She's talking about we're going to have unity, and then she calls me a fascist in the next sentence. This is the worst unifier. And you know, Biden was bad, but you know who was a really bad unifier? Barack Hussein Obama. He was a horrible unifier. Horrible. He was a horrible unifier. And not a very good person. Not a very good person. Now, here's the guy, though. The man whose election was ripped away from him like you take candy from a baby. Okay? Crooked Joe Biden. What's better, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? Sometimes I feel like it's Sleepy. Well, now, I don't know. Well, he's gotten him in so much trouble when he called you garbage. Hey, you're not garbage. You're not garbage. This is a hell of a big crowd. Look at that. Goes. I wish the fake news. I wish the fake news would show this crowd. I wish they'd turn the cameras over there as far as the eye can see. Over there. Not one camera's turning. Not one camera. They never turn the cameras. They never want to show the real crowd size. You know, Kamala should never be running right now. She doesn't deserve it. She came in last. She got no votes. Whether you like him or not, I'm not a big fan. But we had a debate. His numbers went down. It can happen. But they took it away from him. You don't take it away. He got 14 million votes in the Democrat Party. And then, that sounds like a nice F-35. You know how many of them I bought? I bought a lot of them. Personally, I like the F-22 the best, by the way. But I think the F-22 is the most beautiful fighter jet ever made. But let's get back into this. That's the weave. Let's get back to the subject. You always end up in the right. You have to always end up in the right place. But Crooked Joe Biden, they stole the election from him. They went in. They said, crazy Nancy Pelosi, who, by the way, she had a big stake in Visa, and she sold it 2 weeks ago. The following day, it was announced that Visa is under major investigation. Nancy Pelosi sold her Visa stock 1 day before it was announced that they were under investigation. And the fake news doesn't want to report the story. The fake news won't report the story. No. But there's one big difference between Crooked Hillary and Kamala. You know what it is? Hillary was far more intelligent than I guess. But Hillary didn't lie as much. Hillary was a liar and a scoundrel and a horrible human being, but she didn't lie as much as Kamala. Kamala will get up and say, Trump doesn't want to frack. He will never frack. No, no, I frack and I drill, baby, drill. I want to drill, baby, drill. She'll get up and say, haven't you heard? Donald Trump will not drill, baby, drill. He will not drill, baby, drill. No. Fortunately, most people are intelligent and they get it. This one, and we're leading big in the polls, all the polls. This is all you need to know. Kamala broke it, and I will fix it, and I'll fix it very quickly. And with your support, New Mexico, look, don't make me waste a whole damn half a day here, okay? Look, I came here, you know, we can be nice to each other, or we can talk turkey. Let's talk turkey, okay? First of all, Hispanics love Trump. They do. True. I like them. They're smart. They're a lot smarter than the person running for president on the Democrat side. You could say a lot smarter than Biden, too, I can tell you. They're smart. They're entrepreneurial as hell. They're great entrepreneurs, actually. Great small business owners and big business owners, too. But they're great. They work their asses off. That's right. They don't want to get anything for nothing. They want it. They just want a fair, nice, level playing table, and that's what's going to happen. But you know what? No, but did you hear? I'm at the highest point of any Republican in history. Now we're going to, okay, that's one step. Now I'm going to make it of any Democrat also, because I treat you much better than the Democrats. The Democrats, they're destroying your country. They're destroying your country. So I'm here for one simple reason. I like you very much, and it's good for my credentials with the Hispanic or Latino community. You know, on the East Coast, they like being called Hispanics. You know this? On the West Coast, they like being called Latinos. So, poll, give me a free poll. You know, I don't have to spend $300,000. First is going to be Latinos, next is Hispanics, right? Which do you prefer? Latinos. Uh-oh. Let me give it one more shot. Latinos. Hispanics. I can't believe it. I had an argument on the plane back there. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I had a little argument on the plane. They said, sir, please use the term Latino when you're in New Mexico, I said. And I said, you know, I've always heard Hispanic, and then at some point, there is a little area, but I feel more comfortable. Sir, really, you'll be very insulting. I take a poll, and it's 97% I was right. A free poll. As I was saying, I love the Hispanics. I love them. I love Hispanics, and they are. They're hard workers, and boy, are they entrepreneurial, and they're great people, and they are warm. They are warm. Sometimes they're too warm, you want to know the truth. They are warm people. But you have to turn out the record numbers that we need in order to really demand a better future, and you have to go out, you have to vote. We want to win, win, win. We want to take care of the great state of New Mexico. We're going to defeat Kamala Harris, the worst vice president, and we're going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again, and you're going to go back. And, you know, this group, I think this group is so large that if you all went right after this, who's voted? Oh. Okay, who is going to vote? That's good. Well, the people that have voted, if you voted against me, shame on you. I'm only going to focus on the people that haven't voted. I'm holding it against you. I should have done this trip about a week earlier, by the way. It's all right. These are minor mistakes. These are minor mistakes. No, it's good to be with you. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. But those people that haven't voted, which is about 40%, get out and vote for Trump, and we're going to have a big victory. We're going to have a big victory. I just want to be proven right. You know, I like to say I'm never wrong because it's good. Remember the hat, the great hat? Trump was never wrong about anything, and it's true. And that's sad because I've made some very bad predictions with her in office. You'll end up in depressions. You'll end up in third world wars. You'll end up, if anything ever happened, it would be horrible. If she got in, it would be horrible for the future of this country because she's grossly incompetent. She's more incompetent than Biden, and I didn't think I could say that about anybody. Do you think she's happy with him? I don't think so. Do you think she feels good about the language that he's been using lately, like calling us all garbage? Can you imagine the phone calls? What the hell are you doing, Joe? Please, Joe. I'm trying, Joe. I'm at a big disadvantage. You know, they say I'm not smart, no, and then you go and you make it more difficult for me, Joe. What are you doing, Joe? Well, that's the way I feel, because that is the way it feels, probably. But you know who really, I won't use that term on him, but you know who the person is that we don't have too much respect for, right? I mean, you see what we have. And they're destroying our country, and they're ruining your state. They're letting millions of people come into your state. They're ruining your state. And get out there and vote. One of the biggest reasons we will win this state is that you have among the worst border problems of any state in America. And I am the only one that knows how to fix it. I already did fix it. 4 years ago, you didn't have a problem. 4 years ago, you didn't have a problem. Under Kamala, New Mexico has seen millions of people pour across your section of the southern border, including 10,000 convicted criminals and thousands of illegal alien gang members. Congratulations, you now have those gang members in your presence. Yeah, you have a lot of rough hombres, don't you? You have a lot of rough. They're tough hombres. Kamala has imported criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums, and mental institutions. They're emptying out their mental institutions and their prisons and jails from all over the world, and they're coming into the United States of America. We're like a dumping ground. We're like a dumping ground. It's a horrible thing. They come from Venezuela, they come from the Congo, and they're stealing countless American lives. In Las Cruces, Mexico, an illegal alien criminal who was arrested but released from jail. You heard about this. You know about this. It's a big story all over, but especially here. On unsecured bond was charged. Unsecured bond. What is an unsecured bond? The hell are they doing, an unsecured bond? What does that mean? What is that? A bond is supposed to be secured. Was charged with decapitating a man, mutilating his body, and kicking his head around like a soccer ball in the public park. The victim's head was found 30 feet from his body. He had been stabbed multiple times, and his middle finger had been removed. I guess that was a sign of something. Today, I want to have you hear direct. By the way, that person is not being charged like he should be charged. Okay? But today I want you to take a look at something that just came about 2 days ago. We made a tape, which I'm going to show you, and it's a tape of a great mother who I got to know a little bit at one of the rallies, and I heard the story, and she said, I'd love to do this, and it's very sad. Everybody that's seen it, literally they end up, tough men have ended up crying pretty profusely by watching this, so please take a look.
Sunday night, I asked her to not stay up super late because of her coming to work with me in the morning to do her summer school. She said, okay. I told her good night and I love you. I went to bed, not realizing that that was going to be the last time I saw her.
We're best friends. Yeah.
We're going to shake it again.
I woke up to notice she wasn't in her bed. I'm in my heart trying not to lose my mind because I don't know where she is. I finally remembered her phone had a location on, and her phone was pinging just 2 minutes down the road, State Park. I start driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cop cars with lights on. I see yellow tape, and immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
We begin with two men we're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her. She had her entire life ahead of her. Happy birthday, dear Jocelyn. My daughter is 6 feet in the ground, based off of policies that she allowed to keep. Kamala Harris did have one job, and she not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter, she failed Jocelyn. You know, she was only 12. President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former president, but just as a father, someone who cares. I believe Donald Trump needs to be back in office. I can at least know that my next child will be safe in this country.
So devastating, right? Thank you very much. There are hundreds and even thousands of cases like that, and it's people coming into this country that are horrible people. They're horrible people. I don't like saying that, but they're horrible people. And they come in totally unvetted, totally unchecked through this ridiculous open border policy that she and the radical left have. And the only reason they can want it, I guess two reasons. They think they're going to sign people up to vote, or they're just grossly incompetent, which they are. Maybe it's both. But it's vicious. It's vicious that they do it. People are being killed every single day by illegal migrants coming into this country. These are rough people. These are people that have been in jails and prisons. And again, 13,000 plus murderers have been released into our country, some with the death penalty already stipulated against them. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins. And the savages charged with brutalizing and murdering precious Jocelyn are members of the same vicious Venezuelan prison gang, Tren de Aragua, the most vicious gang, they say, in the world, although I would say MS-13 is right there with them. We took out thousands of MS-13 in the world, although I would say MS-13 is right there with them. We took out thousands of MS-13 killers. When I was president, we took them out by the thousands. Before me, they didn't take them out because the countries wouldn't take them back. With me, I said to the countries, you know, we'd love to take them back. We took them out by the thousands. Two young girls walking down a street in Long Island. For some reason, MS-13 likes Long Island. We took them out again by the hundreds and hundreds out of Long Island. We saved Long Island. But two girls walking down the street, going to school, 16 years old each, 16 beautiful, perfect, young girls. And they were hit by MS-13 and sliced up with a knife. They didn't want to use a gun because it's too quick. And they sliced them up and killed them, sliced them up into pieces. And those animals are paying a big price right now because of ICE. ICE went in and did a number on them. But we've got to get smart in this country. We've got to get smart. They're taking over apartment complexes. They're unleashing a violent killing spree all across America. In Aurora, Colorado, you've been reading about it. It's terrible. Yes, doctor, please. Doctor in the house, please. Please, take your time, doctor. Thank you. Medic, doctor. Thank you. Are they okay? Thank you, doctor. Take your time, doctor. We always have good doctors. That's one thing. We got a lot of doctors here. A lot of doctors, a lot of doctor support. Thank you. You've been waiting here a long time. Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Go ahead. You okay, doctor? You okay? Doing well? You tell us. Looks like you're doing okay. Thank you. Thank you. How about playing a song while the doctor finishes up? Do you want to do that? How about God Bless America? God Bless America? Go ahead, put it on. If my people can move quickly, put it on. Good, you can sing. And you can sing with, people can move quickly, put it on. Good, you can sing. And you can sing with this great voice that you're about to hear, if you'd like. Go ahead.
Tomorrow all the things were gone, work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. from the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee.
Requested, but that was a great song anyway. They got it a little wrong, but that's good. You can never go wrong with Lee Greenwood. That I can tell you. He's great. Well, thank you. And Doctor, I think you're okay over there? Yes? Everyone good? Let's go. Let's go. So, that was very sad, and there are so many sad stories for no reason whatsoever. Open borders. I call them the open borders stupid policies. These are for stupid people. And we want people to come into our country, but we want them to come in legally. We want them to love our country and to love the people of our country, and we'll do that. But they can't just walk in from prisons and from all sorts of places. Do you know the crime rates are down in many places, in many cities outside of this country? Because it's all over the world. They're coming in from the Congo. They're coming in from... Crime rates are down in Venezuela by 70%, 72%, because they're taking their criminals and depositing their criminals in the United States of America. Thank you very much. And the United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. We are an occupied country. When you see what's going on in Colorado, and I think Colorado's going to vote big for Trump too. They were the ones. The governor over there, he's a weak, ineffective, radical left lunatic. He doesn't know what to do because in Aurora, they're taking over the whole place. But you know what he tried to do? He wanted to get me off the ballot, and the people of Colorado were not happy about it, including Democrats. And we won 9-0 in the Supreme Court. That's what we had to do because of Colorado. And Colorado said, we're going to vote for Trump. That was their form of rebellion. So I hope you do that. I hope you vote for Trump. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. And we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country and fast. To expedite removal of the Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of, listen to this, 1798. That's an old one. You have to go back that far because as we've grown and grown, our politics and politicians have become weaker and weaker. Our laws don't mean anything. It's so bad what's happening to our country, and we're becoming a very unsafe country, but we're going to be a lot more unsafe when you realize that all of the criminals from every country in the world is being deposited right into our nation, and we're not going to take it. But we're using the Alien Enemies Act. Think of that. 1798, boy, that's a long time ago, to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil, and it gives tremendous authority to everybody to straighten out our country. We've got to have a country. We've got to have borders. We've got to have fair elections. We've got to have a free press. Look how many people are back there. They're just so many bad. They're so fake. So many of them, they're fake. They're fake. And if these monsters come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or law enforcement officer. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States. We're ending sanctuary cities, which is sanctuary for criminals. As we secure our border, we will bring back our economy, and very simply, I will make America affordable again. It's not affordable. Because these lunatics who we have running our government, they've allowed inflation to rise to a level that we've never seen before, and it's not affordable. They've come down, the prices came down, and now they're going shooting back up again. It's terrible. The job, we've got to get those costs down, and I'm going to get them down. You know how I'm going to get them down? We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill, bring energy down. And we're going to get interest rates down, too. They were at 2% with me, and now they're at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14%, and you can't get the money even if you want to pay it. Kamala Harris cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation in our country's history. She cost a typical American family over $30,000 in higher prices. Think of that, $30,000. And now Kamala, a disaster who shouldn't be allowed to run. She has no right to be running. You know what? You know the expression, right? They're a threat to democracy. That's what they are. They are the threat to democracy. Kamala wants to raise the typical family's taxes by nearly $3,000 a year. And I'm announcing today a new step that I'll take to get emergency price relief to all Americans. On day one, I will sign an executive order directing every federal agency to immediately remove every single burdensome regulation driving up the cost of goods, or drive up the cost of goods. We have so many regulations that hurt our country. I cut more regulations ×4 than any president in the history of our country. And that's why we had the greatest economy in history. That's one of the reasons why. The other is I gave you the largest tax cut in the history of our country, including Ronald Reagan. Furthermore, I will create a new cabinet position for a senior member of my administration who will be tasked exclusively with doing everything in the federal government's power to reduce the cost of living. We have to. You not be able to live. And a lot of it is just the regulations and the rules and regulations, which are just a waste of time and money. And everybody, we need regulation, but I have seen regulations where they have 30 regulations for one subject, and the one subject doesn't even matter. All agencies will be judged daily on their progress in slashing the cost of household items. We're going to slash the costs, and this will be the largest and fastest, most aggressive regulatory reduction. It's going to be the largest regulatory reduction in the history of our country, and it's going to happen very fast. Using just very conservative estimates, we will save the typical household $7,000 in the first year alone. With no impact to your life, Tim. No impact at all, just a waste of money. Uh-oh. Osprey. The Osprey. Pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing. They've had some difficulty, but pretty amazing. We will end the inflation nightmare immediately and create a record jobs boom, the likes of which you've never seen before. And we had a record. We had, think of it, 4 years ago, we were energy independent. And during my administration, we had the most successful economy, the greatest economy in the history of our country. the history of our country. And we had the best job numbers in the history of our country. African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, men, women, people with a degree, young people with a degree in the best schools, young people without a degree at all. Every single group had the best. There wasn't one group that wasn't at the all-time top. We had the most successful administration, and we rebuilt the military. We did so many. We defeated ISIS. We did a lot. I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will also have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits to your seniors. This liar got up today. She said, Donald Trump is going to cut Social Security. No. She knows I'm not. She's going to destroy Social Security, but I'll never cut it. And I'm never raising the age either. She'll have no choice but to. But what I will cut is the tax on Social Security, so she's a little confused. No, she is a liar. And I'll also support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of their parents or a loved one, a husband, a wife, and they deserve it. You know, without them, you wouldn't have enough hospitals in this country if you doubled them up. You have unbelievable people, angel moms. You have unbelievable people that do a great job, and they're entitled to that. On behalf of the great people of New Mexico, I will end Kamala's war on American energy. You're not going to have any energy. You know, they talk about Pennsylvania, no fracking. If you don't have energy, they're going to take it away. They want to go all electric, everything all electric. Oh, that's going to be wonderful. They want, even in the military, they want all electric army tanks. There's only one problem, they don't work. But they will be environmentally friendly as you blast your way into various enemy cities, right? We'll do it we will blast our way through into a city in an environmentally friendly way. You know what happens? The battery is so big and so heavy that you will have to carry it in like a wagon on the back, okay? They'll be pulling a battery along in a wagon, and the battery's so heavy, they don't even know if the tank is going to have the power to do it. The whole thing is crazy. It doesn't go far. It doesn't have the right torque. These are minor details. The whole tank is so heavy that if it goes over a bridge, you're going to have to rebuild all the bridges. Same thing with the trucks. They want to make all trucks, all electric. The problem is they weigh 2.5 times more because of the battery. They don't go far enough. And because of the weight, by the way, it would mean we would have to build and rebuild. Every bridge in the United States of America has to be rebuilt to handle the weight of all electric trucks. I said to the head of the trucker, one guy has 28,000 trucks. I said, that's a lot. He's been buying them for his whole life. He said, I've been buying trucks for 50 years, sir, and every year they got better, bigger, stronger, more beautiful. We build those apartments on the back of that trailer right now, sir. You'd be proud to live in one of them. I said, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Maybe I would. I probably would. They're beautiful. You see it. But every year, he said, for 50 years, they've gotten more efficient. They've gotten better. And now they want us to go all electric. And we'd be going back 50 years and much more. 50 years ago, a truck was better than the best electric truck today. So I said, did you explain that to the authorities as they burst into your office to demand that you go all electric? He said, I explained it. What they say, we don't give a damn. We want you to go all electric. This is what we're dealing with. It's like it's like Gestapo stuff, okay? They use that term. It's like Gestapo stuff. What they're doing to our country is unbelievable. And you talk about a supply chain. I said, how many stops would you have to make for electric? 6 to Los Angeles, New York to Los Angeles. 6 stops, sir, and we have no chargers. I said, that's a problem, too. Do you know they built 8 charging stations? You know what a charging station is? The same thing as a pump with gasoline, except electric is there. It comes, you put it in, right? Do you hear this story? $9 billion they've spent for 8 charging stations in the Midwest. So you're about ready to run out of electric, and they say, sir, if you go 300 miles to the north, There's a charging station up there. It would cost us to do the necessary charging stations. It would cost us, they say, about $10 trillion. That's like $10 trillion to do the necessary. And you know what? I'm not against electric. I think they're incredible. I think they have a purpose. I think Tesla's great. I think Elon, I mean, he endorsed me, gave me the best. I think they have a great purpose. But you can't go all electric. You want gasoline-powered cars. You want hybrids. You want hybrids. You want a lot of different things. New things are emerging. New things are emerging, but you can't have that. But they want all electric within a very short period of time. Also, they're going to all be made in China. You know that. We have gasoline. We have gasoline. We have all the gasoline you could ever. They have, and it's clean too. They have what's necessary for batteries, China. So why are we playing into their hands like this? Because we're run by stupid fools. Stupid fools. If Kamala is reelected, New Mexico's economy will be reduced to rubble. You're not going to be drilling oil. You're not going to be, there's no more drilling. There's no more oil. You can forget it. We want to go off. You know, Germany tried it for about 9 months. That's the end of that one. She was gone right after that. They tried it. They almost lost their country. And they went back to it. Now they're building a coal plant a week. I mean, they've gone from one extreme to the other. But Germany tried it. China's building a coal plant a week. Kerry goes to meet with President Xi. He says, I'd like you to go environmentally friendly. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Get out of here. Go back. Tell them we're going to do it. In the meantime, they keep doing whatever the hell they want to do. And all that air, by the way, comes over our country in 3.5 days. So we're out there, nice clean air, but the air from China blows over our country every 3.5 to 4 days. And when they dump their garbage into the ocean, it floats on by in the Pacific. It floats on by Los Angeles. It's a lovely sight to see. We end up picking up their garbage, right? Because we allow that to happen. We won't allow that to happen. We're not going to allow that to happen. You know, China, when I was president, paid us hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. When all of the other people, I won't use names, but when China never paid them 10 cents. They didn't pay us 10 cents. I got hundreds of billions of dollars, and they were fine. I had a good relationship with them. I had a great relationship with President Xi until the China virus hit our shores, in which case that was a bridge too far. But we did a great job on that. Never got the credit for that. We got a credit for the economy, for the military, rebuilt the entire military. Got great credit for not having started wars. Right to try. How about right to try? How good was that, right? Right to try. Kamala has vowed to ban fracking. She will destroy over 90,000 oil and gas jobs in New Mexico. They'll put your state will go back to a level of poverty. New Mexico is going to go back to a level of poverty. Going to wipe out 35% of your state's budget. On day one, I will end Kamala's devastating national gas export ban. Do you believe we have a ban? A lot of people don't know that. I will immediately terminate the Green New Scam. That will be such an honor. The greatest scam in the history of any country. I will cancel her insane electric vehicle mandate. It'll be ended on day one. We'll end that one. And I'll cut your energy prices in half within 12 months from entering office. January 20th, we enter office. Within 12 months, all of your energy bills, your car, your air conditioning, your heating, everything will be 50%, 50. Despite all of the damage he's caused, Kamala has spent the final week of her failing campaign comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. That's what she's doing to me. 2 days ago, Joe Biden called our supporters garbage. You're garbage. He said they're garbage. He called you garbage. He called all of us garbage. We're garbage. I remember the word deplorable. Do you remember the word deplorable? How did that work out, Hillary? Not too good. But they mean it, even though without question my supporters are of far higher quality and I think much smarter than Crooked Joe or Lying Kamala. My response to Joe and Kamala is simple. You can't lead America if you don't love America. You can't do it. You can't be president if you hate the American people, and I think they hate the American people. I'll bet you we're 250 million people we're talking about. I'll bet we're 250 million people. Remember, it's called Make America Great Again. Who's against that? Remember Joe? Remember Joe before he gave up and quit? He quit like a little loser. He quit. I will hand over my presidency. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will hand over my presidency. No, he quit. He won, and then he walked into his office. You can't win. So she's not going to win either, by the way. That's the beauty. This can only happen to me. I'm the one. I have to fight two people, not one. I have to go. Everyone else they can beat once. So we spent $150 million beating this guy. I never even mentioned her name. Nobody even knew who the hell she was, except she was incompetent. So we fight. And we're beating him. We have the debate. We did well. He didn't do too good. And then his numbers are down. They go in. They take away his presidency. They literally took away his presidency. And now they say they put. It's like going to Dana White. You know Dana White, UFC. And he sees the fight going on, and the one guy's getting beaten badly. They say, let's take him out and put somebody else in. You don't do that stuff. But they did it. Not a democracy. You don't do that. And, you know, she was last out of the 13 people. She was last. They started off with 22, actually. She was last. She was the first one to be defeated. She got wrecked. She got killed. She was the first one. She never made it to the great state of Iowa. We love Iowa, too. Never made it to Iowa. She never made it. She was defeated before she was the first one out of 22 people to quit. And she becomes the person I have to run against, right? Just not, I don't care. I think I'm probably happier. They have much more capable people than her. But you know what? What they did was wrong. They went in and they told somebody, you're getting out. We're taking over. And they actually took over the presidency of the United States. Think about it. Kamala Harris is not fit to be president of the United States. She doesn't have the intellect, the stamina, or that special quality that real leaders must have to lead. You know, Brett Favre yesterday, Wisconsin, he's great. He endorsed me, never did that before. He endorsed me, gave me a strong endorsement. And I was thinking about her, I'm talking about her, and there's Brett Favre sitting there with her hands. He's got hands I never saw. He's got fingers like sausages. That's why he could fling that ball 80 yards down the field. And I'm saying, how do you even compare? You're talking about him. He was a leader, the won Super Bowl, and had some of the best quarterback stats ever. But great. I mean, it was such an honor. And I'm thinking about here's a guy who was a leader. He was a leader on the field. He'd be screaming at his guys. They weigh 100 pounds more than him. Although I tell you, he's a big guy. I was surprised. He's tall, but he is a strong sucker. And he comes out. And I'm looking at him and I'm talking about her in terms of leadership. And I say, can you imagine we're even having them in the same room? It's so ridiculous. Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's decision to portray everyone who isn't voting for her, which is a hell of a lot of people, as evil and subhuman. Can you believe that? Evil. And we're evil and subhuman. And we know it's what they believe because look at how they've treated you. They've treated you like garbage. Look on the border. Look at New Mexico. You have the worst problem probably in the whole country. They're flowing in like you're a federal highway. They're flowing into your state at levels that nobody else has to see. For the past 9 years, Kamala and her party have called us racist, bigots, fascists, deplorables, irredeemables, Nazis. And they called me Hitler. I'm Hitler. That's what they say. They've bullied you. They've demeaned you. They've demonized us. They've censored us, deplatformed us, and weaponized the power of our government against their political opponent, me. I've had more investigations than Alphonse Capone. Alphonse Capone would kill a person just by looking. If he didn't like the person, even tough guys like these guys over here, if Alphonse didn't like you, you were gone. And I've had more investigations than Scarface. That's Alphonse Capone. My father would be looking down. He said, how the hell did that happen to my son, my boy, my beautiful boy? How did that happen? How did that happen? I'm pretty sure he'd be looking down. I know my mother would be looking down. My father. He'd be looking down. He was a tough guy, but he was a good guy. He had a big, beautiful heart. They've taken away your money, thrown open your borders to criminals and terrorists, flooded your towns with deadly drugs and death, given your jobs to illegal migrants, and sent our blood and treasure to fight stupid foreign wars in countries that you've never heard of. This Tuesday is your chance to stand up and declare that you're not going to take it anymore. What we've built is the biggest, broadest, most incredible coalition and the greatest political movement in American history. There's never been a movement like this, not even close. We've brought together veterans and union members, soldiers and steelworkers, farmers and auto workers, and patriotic moms and dads of every race, religion, color, and creed. We're welcoming historic numbers of African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and Arab Americans. Let me tell you, when the numbers come out, you're going to see the worst African American numbers that we've ever seen, because these people that are pouring into our country are taking African American jobs at levels that nobody's ever seen, and they're trying to keep, I know the numbers, they're trying to keep the numbers quiet until after the election. They have 5 more days, but they want to keep them quiet. They should release them right now. African Americans, and to a lesser extent, but a lot, Hispanic Americans are losing their jobs to people that are illegally coming into our country. And we ought to demand it. I demanded of the fake news, but they're useless. These guys are useless. They don't even talk about it. And they know it. And they know it. They know what the numbers are, too. They're taking African American jobs at a level that nobody can even comprehend. And it's damn unfair. These are American citizens. It's damn unfair. We're uniting Christians and Jews, Catholics and evangelicals, Muslims and Mormons, and everyone who simply wants to do one thing. What do they want to do? Make America great again. That's all they want to do. Our campaign has been endorsed by 400,000 members. Think of this, 400,000 members of the Fraternal Order of Police, by the Border Patrol agents, unanimously, think of it, unanimously, and the strongest endorsement you've ever heard, by the rank and file membership of the Teamsters. That's something no Republican ever had, 62%. They have a great head of the Teamsters, so I will say, Sean O'Brien, he's a great leader of the Teamsters, I will say that. By Elon Musk, a great one. When I watched that rocket come in last week, I said, any guy can do that. I want that endorsement, right? He gave me the, you know where he is right now? He's in Pennsylvania, and what he's doing is campaigning for me because he said it's the most important single decision in American history because we're going to lose our country. We have the endorsement of somebody who's terrific, not easy. He's been, I mean, the family's been slightly Democrat for a long time, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. RFK Jr. He's going to help us on health and the health of women, and men, and children, and he is so good and so into it, and you'll see he's going to do a great job. I may keep him away from the liquid gold. I told him, listen, I love you. I think you're great. But stay away from my liquid gold. We're going to make a lot of money with that. We're going to pay off debt. We're going to lower taxes. We have Tulsi Gabbard, a highly respected person who just turned Republican. And the great astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who never endorsed, just yesterday, he never endorsed anybody in his life, and he endorsed a guy named Donald Trump. Kamala and Joe, call them, all of them also, they're in your group now. She calls them garbage, and he calls them garbage. Oh, you can imagine their conversations. But I call you the heart and soul of America. I call you the people that built our country. You're the people that built our country. We're especially excited to have the support of record numbers of Hispanic Americans and Latinos. And right here in New Mexico, we're going to win a record share of the Hispanic American vote. We're going to get tremendous. So if I did nothing else, at least the Hispanics are going to say we love this guy, because I've set so many records. You know, we won Miami. We did things like win Miami. We won the entire border along Texas, which is mostly Hispanic. It's 80%, 85%. The governor of Texas, a good guy, Governor Abbott, called. He said, sir, you won the entire border running along Texas, between Texas and Mexico. I said, so why are you surprised? He said, it never happened before. Hispanics want great jobs, rising wages, and safe communities. You don't want vicious gang members getting dumped into your state. And you don't want Kamala teaching your children that they can change their gender anytime they want. And many Hispanics are also Catholics, and Kamala is persecuting Catholics. What's with Catholics? Any Catholic that votes for her should immediately have your head examined. They are persecuting Catholics. And remember this, evangelicals are next, okay? It's very simple. We're with you. What they're doing is unbelievable. They're persecuting Catholics. So, we have a lot of Catholics. Who's Catholic here? Who's Catholic? A lot. That's a lot. We're trying to turn that movement that the government has. We're going to turn it down. We're going to turn that thing down and off. And my first day in office, there will be no more persecutions of Catholics or anybody else. Kamala even suggested that being Catholic disqualifies you from running for office. She's about 75 years out of date. Didn't they have that with Kennedy? They had that with a lot of people. A lot of Catholics were persecuted they couldn't run for office. And now she's going to start that whole thing up again. The woman is a disaster. And ready? Yeah, I shouldn't say this about an opponent, but I have to. Because you know what? We can't take a chance in her. She's dumb as a rock. She's dumb as a rock. Did you see where her teleprompter went off last week? Two weeks ago, she's like, 32. And now the teleprompter freezes. Happens all the time. I have my good teleprompter guy back there. He's excellent, but every once in a while, no matter how good they are, this sucker breaks down. But I haven't been using it too much today, to be honest. Hey, isn't it nice? I always say, isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? Right? But her teleprompter broke down 3 weeks ago. And 32 days, she meant 32 days are left in the campaign. 32. 32. Did you see this? 32. 32. Oh, and I'm saying, oh, man, I was watching. I said, she's lost it. 32. And then, boom, it kicked back. You know, sometimes it doesn't. If you're going to be a politician, you have to know they have backup. See this? There's a backup. But, you know, if you have to use that backup, you're in big trouble because, it broke. Now you got to find the page. It's not good. You're just better off just wing it, do whatever the hell you have to do. This is backup. All I have to do is figure out what the hell page it's on, you know, little things like that. No, if you're a politician, if you want to run for office, I have a friend, he wanted to, a very smart guy, very successful guy, made a lot of money and all. He saw what I'd done. He wants to run for the Senate. And I say, well, do you have any problems, anything back? No, I have one problem, though. I have, like, this terrible phobia. I'm afraid to speak in front of people. I said, let me give you a little suggestion. Don't waste your time. Can you imagine that? He had a problem, little phobia about speaking in front of people. That would not be good. So he was actually hoping for small groups instead of large groups. Hey, do we have large groups? Oh, look at this group. If the fake news would show it, it would be so. They never show it. And, you know, we do the videos a little bit for the great crowds, because when we have a good crowd like in New Mexico, that stuff is expensive to put up, right? But when we have a good crowd, we put it up. They never show it. A friend of mine on television loves to watch the rallies. He says, but the one problem is whenever they go for a clip, you saw a clip just now, was a semi. All they have to do is go 1 inch to the right and 1 inch up, and they've got it. They say they never play the videos. I didn't know that until he said that. That's terrible. So it's blank. You know what they do? They show me standing here for 2 minutes, right? No, it's very unfortunate. And they don't do that because they don't want the public to really see the facts. It's so easy to do. 1 inch to the right or left and 1 inch up, and they won't do it. And I shame them, and I shame them also about crowd size. I say, show the crowds. How about her? She couldn't get a crowd the other night. She got Beyonce. Beyonce walked out, said something, walked back, didn't sing a song, and they booed both of them the hell out of the area. No, she can only get a crowd if she gets some person to sing. I don't have to sing. I don't have a guitar. If I had a guitar, would I do even better? We'd have even bigger crowds, right? We'd have even bigger crowds. Kamala Harris is a low IQ individual. She's running a campaign of hate, anger, and retribution. She's now talking about what she's going to do on the border, but why didn't she do it before? 4 years almost. Or what she's going to do about inflation. She's talking about, I'm going to do this and that. She doesn't know what she's talking about, by the way. You have a depression of 1929. She said what she's going to do about inflation, but why didn't she do it before? It's almost 4 years. Or what she's going to do to help the economy. But then I ask, why the hell didn't you do it before? She and Crooked Joe head up the worst administration in the history of our country. They've made one man, he's getting up there in age, just celebrated his 100th birthday, but they've made him a very happy man because compared to them, his administration looks absolutely brilliant. Jimmy Carter. And in all fairness to Jimmy, he didn't let 21 million people pour into our country, many of them criminals and mentally ill people that should be in hospitals. He didn't do that. 2 nights ago, Kamala made a speech with a paid-for audience. You can always tell when the buses pull up and they're all the same. I was actually, it's a good-looking bus company. I think I'm going to use it sometime. But we don't need buses, do we? No, the buses, they get these people from someplace, they pay them, and they send them in. Oh, she got a wonderful crowd today. And then you see the people that she's making a speech, they're all looking at their phone, blah, 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 calling their girlfriend, calling their boyfriend. But all she talked about was Donald Trump.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I will speak about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, 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 Donald Trump.
That's all she talked about. And that's the exact, that's it. That was exact. Although I got that from a fake news network, so you never know. No, that's all she talked about is Donald Trump. Let's talk about the economy. Donald Trump, this woman she suffers from a major case of Trump derangement syndrome. But many Democrats do, and that's because we're winning. We're winning by a lot. Everything Kamala says is a lie. She says that I want to take away Medicare and Social Security. That's a lie. You know that because for 4 years I just made it stronger. She says I want to end Obamacare and take away your health care. That's a lie. It's a lie. If we come up with something better, that'll be great. And everybody wants that because Obamacare sort of sucks. It's too expensive for the people. She talks about Project 2025, which I have absolutely nothing to do with. She says, I know that because of Project. Well, we've denied that. I have no idea what Project 2025 is. I've never read it, and I never will. But they make it sound like it's from me. She says, I want to ban IVF, a total outrageous lie. In fact, I'm going to require insurance companies to pay for IVF. And that was long, and many other things. I'm going to protect your Medicare, your Social Security. We're never ending it. She said we're in it. She never heard me say it. If she ever heard me let her prove it. She gets up and lies. He's going to end Social Security. No, the nice thing is we can fight back because we have a voice, so we can fight back. We can tell you what's true and what's not true. But Kamala's open borders catastrophe, this is what's going to kill your Social Security. Her open borders will kill Social Security, Medicare, and frankly, will kill our country as a whole. It's going to kill us. According to a recent study, Kamala's plan, giving free health care for illegals, will rob Medicare of over $2 trillion. It will never recover, and I will never let it happen. The reason Kamala's campaign has been reduced, this desperate, pathetic stream of hoaxes and lies, is very simple. She's a liar. The entire world can see she's a total train wreck. And by the way, I looked at her this morning. She had a little news conference. It lasted for like 2 minutes. She's exhausted. You know? She's exhausted. She's a train wreck who is totally unqualified to be the President of the United States of America. There are some people who thrive under pressure, and there are some people who crack under pressure. She's a cracker. And the more pressure the more pressure Kamala has, the more you see it happening. No, she's cracking. She's a bad person, because anybody that lies like that, knowing that it's a lie, just put it out. Just have to tell you, because you have to understand it. When you see it, at least this way you know it. You know, a lot of people say, sir, don't go down in the gutter with her. I said, well, how will people know she's lying if I don't say the truth, right? Am I right? She says it. But being a candidate is nothing compared to the pressure of being president itself, because I've done both. If she can't handle going on The View, where she made a horrible mistake, you know the mistake she made. She can't think of anything she'd do different from Biden. That should cost her 75% of the votes, and the 25 that vote for her, they're not the smartest people in the world. She can't think of anything she'd do essentially different from crooked Joe Biden. Do you know that 325,000 young children were killed or are sex slaves or slaves right now who came through this horrible open border? Think of what that means. Many, many stadiums full of the biggest stadium and many stadiums. 325,000 children are right now dead, never to be seen by their parents again, or sex slaves or slaves. And they're missing, and they'll probably be never seen again. This is not a charity event. This is an election for the biggest and toughest job in history. There's no tougher job than being president. And we get hit from the enemy inside. You know that, right? We get hit by the Adam Schiffs of the world. He's scum, total scum. They made up Russia hoax. They made up all the impeachment hoaxes. They make it up. They're bad people. There's no participation trophy for incompetent candidates. Do you want to lose your life savings because we put a weak and foolish person in the White House? You'll lose it real quick. You'll lose your country. But do you want to lose your job or maybe your house or pension because Kamala has the economic understanding of a child? Did you ever hear her speak? They ask her a question on economic footing, and she's like a child. She says, well, I was born on a house with grass in the front of the house. I was born on a house with grass. She uses that answer all the time. And how about 60 Minutes? 60 Minutes, they interview me all the time. But they go at me, oh, they want to get me, with her, all softballs. And she gives one answer that was so incompetent that you'd have her examined under Article 25, actually. She'd be gone. But it was so bad. What do they do? CBS, they're licensed by the United States government because of fairness. 60 Minutes, right? What did they do? They took her answer. It was a long, horrible answer. I don't like the word salad term, but that's what it was. It was a word, just words all over the place. They didn't mean anything. They took it out in its entirety, didn't leave one word, and replaced it with an answer that she gave in another section of the interview. nobody's ever seen. I think it's and this is really interference with an election, fraudulent interference with an election. It's never, I can't imagine, and I think they probably did it with a lot of others. They refused to give us the documents. So you know what? If you want me to, I will sue them. Should I? Because they are among the most, see the media? They're among the most dishonest people that we have. They're the biggest, I think they're maybe the biggest problem that the country has. They lie and they cheat. So 60 Minutes, a news magazine, part of the news organization, they took the answer out and replaced it with a different answer. The presidency is a job held by Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Dwight Eisenhower, FDR, you could name them. This is a job that has to be held by somebody with a high level of intelligence. Would you trust Kamala Harris to talk to Russia or China and talk about keeping us out of war? I don't think so. Would you trust her to steer us out of an economic crisis? I don't think so. But nothing is more dangerous than to give immense power to a weak and not very smart person, just not a smart person. We need smart. In fact, I call for it, but I would love to have it. We should have cognitive tests for anybody that runs for president and vice president. Oh, how about that guy she picked for vice president? What a loser. What a loser that one is. I mean, that guy, could you imagine? Well, she picked somebody so bad that there is a certain rule. Make them really bad and they'll never take you out, right? But you wouldn't put Kamala Harris in charge of a kindergarten class. She wouldn't be in charge of a kindergarten class. So at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, can you afford to put someone this incompetent in charge of our country's future? The answer is no. And she shouldn't be there. She got no votes. She shouldn't be there. On top of it all, Kamala says she would not do one thing differently from Joe Biden. Think of that. And he's the worst president in our history. By definition, what she said is disqualifying. Take a look.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
An Afghan national is in custody today after being accused of plotting an election day terrorist attack. The suspect entered the U.S. on a special immigrant visa.
Gut-wrenching new details in the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national who crossed the unsecured southern border back in 2022.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Only 18% say the economy is in excellent or good condition.
US inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
Authorities saying Train Day Aragua, which has been linked with more than 100 criminal investigations here in the U.S., has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
So if you want to end this disaster that's going on all around us, you must get out and vote. You got to get out and vote. So we're thrilled to be joined by a lot of great people, a lot of real patriots. One of them is Markwayne Mullin, the senator from Oklahoma. And where's Markwayne? Where is Markwayne? Do you want to come up? Look, he's standing there. I think he wants to come up, but fast, Markwayne. He's a great athlete. He's a great wrestler, a great champion. He's a great champion. He is a great champion.
Guys, I am so proud to be here with my president, our fighter, right? The fighter that's going to fight back against this overreaching Democrat Party that's trying to literally go after all of our freedoms. This guy, I know a little bit about fighting, and when I see a fighter like this, he's a guy that makes me proud, a guy that's going to fight for not only us, but our children, and the children coming after that. Our fighter, the country fighter, the people's fighter, the one that's going to bring down inflation, the one that's going to bring down energy costs, the one that's going to bring back our economy, the one that's going to secure our border. The man that showed great leadership and courage during an assassination attempt. The man that stood up and shook his fist and said, "Fight, fight, fight." Our fighter, my friend, President Donald J. Trump, is going to get our country back on track. God bless you all for being here.
Thank you. Great guy, highly respected gentleman. So I'd like to just ask a couple of people to stand up. Candidate for Senate, where's Nella? Where is Nella? Where is Nella? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, congratulations. I hear you're doing very well, Nella. Go out and vote, Nella. Thank you, darling. Great. Great. Yeah, I heard you're doing great. You really should. She's fantastic. Congress is always looking for good people, and we have somebody that is great. Where's Yvette? Good, Yvette. Thank you, Yvette. A very special guy and a friend of mine, and he knows we did great the last time. Boy, did we do good. That's the one thing we have to watch, and he knows it better than anybody. Steve Pierce. Steve, thank you. Head of the Republican Party. He's the chairman of the Republican Party. Former New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez. Thank you. Former Vice President of the Navajo Nation, Myron Lizer. Myron Lizer. Thank you. Thank you, Myron. And a great developer from New York and Florida, all over the country, a friend of mine, one who's very generous. Anytime there's a problem with hurricanes or tornadoes or anything, he's always there and always helping and writing big checks. Mr. Steve Witkoff, he's here someplace. Steve, thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. So here are the facts, just in closing. Kamala is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders and Pocahontas herself. She destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of Defund the Police, a movement that's so horrible that anybody even thinking about it is not qualified to be president. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE. These are great heroes. These are people that love our country. And they're tough and they're strong, and they got thousands of MS-13 gang members out of here. Nobody else would do it. As California Attorney General, Kamala redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. She pledged to confiscate your guns. Would anybody like to give up your gun? And wants a total ban on handgun ownership. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. And what else did she do? She lied about working at McDonald's, right? So with your vote this November, we're going to fire Kamala, and we're going to save America. We will cut taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. We're going to get those prices down. Raise your wages and bring thousands of factories back to America and back to New Mexico. We're going to bring them back. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine, which would have never happened if I were president. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East. I will prevent World War III from happening. We've never been so close. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. We will build a missile defense shield over our country, all made in the USA, and a lot of it made in New Mexico. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe and clean and beautiful again. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build our country, our nation. We're going to make our nation bigger and better and stronger again. And we will finally protect our citizens the way they're supposed to be protected. We're going to protect our citizens. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive. And every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and filled with something you don't hear much of anymore, filled with the American dream. We're going to bring back the American dream for your children. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that is too big to rig. You need to get out and vote, New Mexico. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It belongs to you. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And 5 days from now, it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help from now until Election Day, 5 days, we will restore America's promise. We will take back the nation that we love. We love our nation so much. We hate to see what's happened to it in the last 4 years. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender. Together, we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. We are in a failing nation. We are in a nation in decline. We will not be in a nation in decline for long. It's going to end very soon. We're going to have a thriving, magnificent nation again, more so than it ever has been. We're going to do things that nobody believed, and we're going to have safety in our nation again. We're going to have great safety in our nation. Together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, New Mexico. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you, New Mexico. What a crowd. Thank you.